Please leave a message after the.
I know, guys, we've spoken about Kylie Jenner a lot on the show, especially when she became the first, quotes, self-made billionaire and all the other stuff. But she's been getting hate, super hate this week about something she's done and been celebrating online. I'm going to play a clip. This is the longest clip I'm going to play. It's a 3-minute clip because there's a discussion with the clip. It's going to save us a lot of time and I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on it. I wasn't happy to hear this, and that's where part of the debate's going to be. Let's see what you guys think. Let's have a listen.
Kylie Jenner raised a lot of eyebrows when she threw a Handmaid's Tale themed birthday party for her friend at her home. And if you haven't seen the Emmy-winning show, it shows a version of America where women's rights have been taken away and they don't have control over their bodies. Here's Kylie showing off the decor at the party.
Praise be. Praise be. You know, the Handmaid's Tale is my favorite. It's my favorite show ever. So, for Stas's birthday, welcome to Gilead.
Oh my god!
Okay, get your outfit!
What the did you do?
Happy birthday! Praise be vodka under his eye tequila. We got a little dinner.
Okay, so Bradley Whitford, who joined The Handmaid's Tale last season, was on The Talk yesterday, and here's what he had to say about the theme choice.
You know, that costume is so kind of iconic, and it's interesting how it's changed from initially a sort of a symbol of oppression to now, as the show is moving ahead, to a symbol of resistance. So, yeah, a cocktail party seems to sort of dash all that significance.
See, I'm with you. I have a hard time, after doing everything we just did before this with Jon Stewart, and talking about that, I have a hard time rallying behind people who want to end Kylie Jenner for throwing a Handmaid's Tale party. It was shocking, and it's like vile, and it makes you think and makes you angry. But I think that a lot of people have to step back, that it's a fictional show with fictional characters.
Right.
Okay?
But there are things going on in the States
I get it.
Like abortion rights are being questioned.
I get it, but, okay, you could take Game of Thrones that treats people the same way that they do treats women, everything else in the same way they do in Handmaid's Tale. But if somebody threw a Game of Thrones themed party, nobody would bat an eyelash.
Right. Yeah, like that's the one element. It is a fictional thing, even though there are parallels to the real world. It is a fictional thing. Like I see this different than Adele's Titanic party. Like that struck me as a little inappropriate. I know she was basing it on the movie, but obviously it was a real life event and a lot of people died in doing a Titanic party. So that was a little bit different. Yeah, I get that Handmaid's Tale is a fictitious thing, but there are enough parallels to the real world, especially right now. It just seems like a little bit odd to do a party about it, like a little bit out of touch.
Just because Kylie Jenner doesn't enjoy the show in the same way you do. Maybe she doesn't get the show. Maybe there's that, right? Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she looks at them and is like, oh my God, that does look sexy. I would look super hot in that outfit. Maybe she is that way. I don't know, but
Joey says,
can't fix all that.
Why do we care about some entitled, privileged, rich kid thinks? Well, the reality is she's got, I don't know how many millions of followers. People are paying attention to what she's doing. So a lot of people saw that she threw a Handmaid's Tale party. And they've done this overstep, like that whole family. It's so funny. For as popular as they are on social media, you know, some of the most followed people in the world, when they do stuff like this, it's almost as if they don't have social media. Right, like they're not aware of the world around them.
They're just so not aware that this would even be a reaction.
Yeah, like so out of touch.
Like you had to have seen at some point somebody in high school who put this on for Halloween, the costume, and then got murdered for it on Twitter. Like you had to have seen something like that. But it's the fact that they are so followed, but yet seem so oblivious to what happens on social media, that is something in itself that's fascinating in all of this.
Lou says, just enjoying the characters, the clothes, praise be. But the characters that wear those clothes are so repressed and they've gotten their rights taken away from them. They're abused by men, and enjoy your party.
Yeah. The reason I chose that clip because everyone was talking about kind of every facet, and I liked the way they kind of spoke about it all. Now, I asked you guys if you've seen The Handmaid's Tale. You both said no. I've seen the show, extremely painful show to watch because the depiction of the subjugation of women is so intense, so raw. They went out of their way to make you feel uncomfortable. It's very realistic to things that are going on in real life. I understand that it's a fictional show, but the points the show are trying to make, the show itself is trying to, be a deterrent or be like, this could happen. That's one of the big things. We're not that far away from this kind of dystopia. It's only a couple of bad decisions, a couple of wrong people in power. Obviously, people are making links to Trump in the way a lot of religious people believe, and there's a lot of people that would like it to be this way. So when you see Kylie Jenner, one of the most, self-made, empowered women on the world, endorse it in a flippant way, like, hey, it's just a show. It to me, it's hilarious and it's frustrating. And I would like to separate the reality from the fiction. And part of me, the cynical part of me, is like, this is a fucking publicity stunt. No one's that tone deaf. And if you watch the video, the glee in her eyes and the way she's mimicking what the aggressors are saying, she's mimicking that the aggressors as well. It's like, fucking hell, man. It's crazy. And someone who, as a man who watched these rape pursuits in the show, I feel uncomfortable. I feel this in distaste.
Well,
but
that being said, we now have.
Don't speak for our
let him go. World number one Kylie Jenner advocate and fan of it. Jen.
No, Jen, what's going on, Jen? You're a bit quiet there. How do you feel about this?
It was quite opinionated about it.
First, there's two things. Like, the Kardashians have been able to be successful because of situations like this. And this is one of the ways that they've been able to make money, is through controversy and through and people just talking about them, whether it's good or bad, just being talked about, they win. But people always seem to buy into it. So people just don't learn when it comes to that. But
yeah, I agree.
Basically, I can't speak for a woman who's going to be offended by this, just like I couldn't speak for a gay person who's gonna be offended by any homophobic event that comes out in the news or something that happens. Like, I know I can't speak for people, and it's the same way I get a little bit triggered when people try and tell me that I can't be offended when something racial happens.
Triggered.
So that's it. I get it. Like, I really do get it. But there is something that I call, I say it to my girlfriend all the time. I say, people are pitchforking, and and it's basically, it's people are just looking for something to be upset about, and people are looking to something to subscribe to. Outrage. And it's typically the people who don't really have not a life, not hobbies, nothing like that. It's just they don't have anything to feel validated from. And what Twitter's been able to do, it's been able to give people a voice and a method to kind of express and be part of something, basically. Yeah. And that is pitchfork culture, and it's cancel culture is really pitchfork culture. It's just people just being like, oh yeah, he should, I'm outraged at this, this is stupid, or this is horrible, or this is horrific. When you actually look at the situation for what it is, the show's horrific, but if you could imagine, coming back home from school, kicking up this much of a fuss to your parents because some girl from your school had a party about a TV show that's not even real, my mom would have slapped the taste out of my mouth. Chatting complete nuts. She's like, what is this a real thing that you're talking about? None of it's real. And I'm just like, I cannot believe that people are they're just so blinded by this pitchfork culture and this cancel culture and just media and just general portrayals of people, that they're able to attach something like what's happening right now with abortions to Kylie Jenner, of all people. Why would you think those two things go hand in hand? Has she had an abortion recently? Does she seem like an advocate for that, or does she seem like is there anything about her that seems it would be supporting any of the villains of that program? Like, if it does, like, stop me. But like, I do not get where people draw the correlation from. Like, if you dislike Kylie Jenner, do you, man? That's all cool. Like, like, do you? Like, I love Kardashians. They're sick. But like, if this is your dislike talking, then I just think you need to go sit down somewhere. But like, if you feel like you've genuinely got a problem, I just feel like you need to assess the reasons that you think you have a problem. Because I think if you actually like look deeper into like your feelings and what you're thinking about Kylie Jenner stands for and what just the situation is in general, you'll probably come out of it thinking like, yeah, like this actually isn't something to be upset about.
I hear that, and it takes a level of inner dissection, inner thought to kind of get to that level. The two things I'll say to that is, the first way I would question myself is, should The Handmaid's Tale bother me then? Should I watch this show about women being subjugated, and should I take the pain they're putting through? Should I take that out of the television? Should I not emotionally? That's what it's meant to do, clearly. But if I'm taking it into the world, and then, as you know, seeing another, it's funny, if I'm watching a fictional show, taking real emotion out of it, then watching someone in reality have fun with that fictional show, and then taking something out of that, what does that say about me? You know what I mean? Because I'm, let me press this button, actually.
Why haven't you learned it?
He's gonna move on.
No, I'm not gonna move on. I'm using that as a sound point because because we're not gonna do that. I'm actually learning right now because there is a dissonance reality from fiction. She's a fucking reality star. There's meta layers to this.
What does that mean? She's a reality star, and you was gonna say making money. So what does her being a reality star or what she does for a living have anything to do with the story of the TV show or what she did? No,
nothing. She's using it to have fun.
Right. Okay.
She's using it.
What were you going to jump on?
Using it to have fun.
Because I feel people draw too much connotation with her like esteem of like their own esteem of her and what they think of her with what they think she should be allowed to do. And there are valid points to some of it, like Kendall Jenner like wearing like a Tupac t-shirt or like getting like Tupac's face put on her own clothing or something, like stuff like that where you're totally oblivious to a culture or like, and you're profiting from it. Like, she's not profiting from this show. She's making no money from it. Sure. She's not doing anything. She's not hurting anybody. Like, she's not appropriating anything. Yeah. She's literally a fan of a TV show and she dressed up in it. If I was going to get mad at people for dressing up as characters from TV shows, no matter how offensive as it was, I would hate doing Comic Cons. But I see people at Comic Cons wearing all kinds of outfits, and I know there is going to be someone at Comic Con who not specifically wears blackface, but has a costume on that I'm just like, should you be wearing that? But that shouldn't even irk me to the point where I'm just like, I need to make you feel crappy about like yourself and tell you that you're not allowed to
but even blackface?
Dress up. No, not blackface. Like, don't do that. But like,
let me ask you a question then, because I think it's coming to this. You're kind of making it simple like this. Like, so it has to be real. It has to be a real situation.
The simple thing is, are you hurting someone?
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. If she's not hurting you, if she's not putting anyone out of pocket, if she's not troubling anybody, why do you care?
But what about disrespect? Is there nothing to say about disrespect?
Who is she disrespecting? Herself. Because she's a woman too, so I'm just like,
some people will say that they're hurting, like
she's
they feel
like,
for example, if someone's been raped, for example, they might feel hurt by her actions.
I can't like stress enough this. So
I should stress something this before you even say that. Okay. We should have really had a woman on.
yeah.
We should have had a woman here before we get into
this. This is why I opened and I said it would be a woman's, like, I can't speak for women who are offended, but like looking at it, I can't then say that other woman is wrong either. But like, just looking from it from a general point of view, I just can't see how she's hurting anybody.
Hey,
so.
listen, I can't help how I feel. The show made me feel a certain way as a man. That's what the show intention was. That's what the story is. It's based off a book. The woman was trying. The woman who wrote the book, by the way, she says people hated her. And I'll wrap up on this. People hated her for writing such a horrible story. But she said, I didn't write anything in that book that hasn't happened in real life. In society. And she was trying to make a point with the story. So I'm not saying that to defend myself. All I'm saying is I felt away, and that's what the narrative was meant to do. I saw Kylie Jenner wearing the robe of, the rapees and not caring. And I just thought to myself, that's in bad taste. You didn't get riled up or anything. I knew she was going to get hit on social media. She did. And I like what these guys have to say. Maybe her perception of the show is completely...
that was a sly shade that they threw at her at the end. Like, she might not even get it. Like,
it might be shade, but he might be right. Everyone's perception that Jen's got a different outlook on this. I have a different outlook on this. She could be watching the show and not connect to it in any way, shape, or form. She could just see this as entertainment. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with her throwing a party at all. There's nothing wrong with her going on social media and flaunting her money and recreating it to a T and recreating all this. Nothing wrong with it.
Are you against the use of the N-word in hip-hop?
No, I'm not.
All right. So the N-word offends me. But it doesn't offend a lot of people.
Okay.
A lot of people would be like, what, like, if someone said it to me, I'd be like, don't call me that.
Right.
But, like, I'm not going to stop you from saying it.
Right.
Like, it's your right. Like,
yeah.
But then at the same time, if I'm offended by it, do I have the right to stop you from using it because we're both black? So a woman even, just, that's the only reference I could have to it. A woman just feeling that they're personally offended.
Yeah.
Knowing that the N-word's been glorified and used in so many different derogatory ways towards men, male and females, right? Towards men and women in black culture and hip hop, in film as well. If someone wears like, I don't know, like if someone is more fascinated with just the aesthetic and like you said, like how it comes across and just like the product of it, of black culture, like, and they want to carry themselves in a certain way, like wear gold chains or something, and that may put someone off. And they're like, why are you dressing like that? Like, why are you carrying yourself like that?
In Japan, they have a whole thing about that though as well.
Yeah. And I just feel like I said, it's not really my place to speak for other women on if they should be offended or not.
Yeah.
But I just feel that if there's anyone who's right, it is to not be put down by men, especially. It would be another woman.
So what about how I feel again? My feelings.
What about
how I feel again? It's about me right now. Forget about everyone else. This is about me right now.
All right, Drake.
Let's move on. Stanley, have you got any final words, man? That was heavy as hell.
Well, all I gotta say is I don't like them, but I gotta say that everything's
Kardashians out of here.
Honestly, but still, I gotta say,
mentioned that for weeks.
I gotta say, they always, with them, everything's win-win, because if you bash them, it's still good news is bad news. Bad news is good news.
Yeah.
If you don't bash them,
Again, said it. They talk about them. You just talk about them.
It's annoying for someone, like if you are someone who's like a commentator on media, just like how we do on this podcast, for example. It's tricky because like if you don't like them, if you don't talk about them, then you're missing an opportunity to talk about like pop culture. But if you do, you just come across like a whinger, like, oh, Kardashians, man, they're so stupid, blah 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 blah. So it's a tricky one. So for that reason, I gotta say, like, I do give them credit for kind of building that kind of situation for themselves where they're winning. They're just winning all the time.
Yeah.
Please leave another message at voiceofmail.com.